Well, you see, as much as the governor feels that way, I believe a lot of people also feel that in Kano. Not only in Kano, I think even people who have been following the development feel that the appeal court decision might have been a miscarriage of justice. First of all, if you remember, part of the judgment delivered, has to do with the intra-party activities, especially the qualification of Governor Abba Yusuf. And then you see, it has been a standing position of the jurisprudence that when a matter has to do with issue of membership, it sounds more of an intra activity of the party, which an election tribunal should not have, reason to upset. And then you see, if you look at the light of decision of the Tinubu Obi, I think the decision of Abba Yusuf appears to be, something different from that particular standing. So people are talking, and then I believe, just like the governor has said, is a miscarriage of justice, he still has one more opportunity to contest that judgment before the Supreme Court. And I think whatever the Supreme Court finally decides will give people a final resting position as to whether those issues, he claimed to be miscarriage of justice are indeed miscarriage of justice. But you see, if you look at the judgment in itself, as lawyers, of course, will abide by every pronouncement made by a court of law. And then we have something that is called stare decisis, that is judicial precedence. If you go by judicial precedent, I think you will come to understand that there appear to be a perceived conflict issue. So challenging it before the Supreme Court will definitely
all right. We'll definitely get back to Abdulqadir Sani as soon as we can, but his position. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear. I can hear you.
Okay, so we did not get your last point on the matter of the governor taking the matter to the Supreme Court. If you could just re-emphasize that again.
Okay. Well, I said, you see, as a litigant, when you go before a court of law and a court delivers judgment, either for or against, you will always have your reaction. And then Governor Abba Yusuf has expressed that there has been miscarriage of justice, and then he has instructed his legal team to proceed before the Supreme Court. Now, the decision by the Supreme Court will clear the dust, in the air, so that people will know whether, his assertions are right or wrong. Of course, I have, mentioned earlier that there appears to be a standing position of the Court of Appeal on issue that borders on internal affairs of a party. And then if the governor feels the law, as it is, as pronounced by the Court of Appeal, has gone contrary to the norms, I think he has chosen the right path to go and challenge it before the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court will decide whether or not it is indeed a miscarriage of justice. That is the point I've made.
Right.
Okay, but two things for me. Well, let's just quickly, confirm your position on this fact that yes, it may be a party affair, but everyone is subject to the Constitution that has already spoken on the issue of valid nomination and sponsorship of candidates by political parties, which was what the Court of Appeal in this case predicated its judgment on. How do you correspond,
Yes.
that with your earlier remarks?
Okay, you see, my position on that, my view is the fact that going by the decision in Tinubu and Obi, I think that issue is an intra-party affairs, which ordinarily the lower court shouldn't have delved into it. But you see, they came up with a pronouncement, and I'm saying that that pronouncement, as affirmed by the Court of Appeal, appears and will be perceived by every legal-minded person who has been following the development and the jurisprudence in the country. We can say that I think it's an aberration of the earlier decision that was made by the Court of Appeal. And I think the Supreme Court would do justice to that if I give it a canvas in the right line. to say that when a matter is an intra-affair of a party, of course, no one goes into it. A number of these, if you look at the case of Lawan and Machina, you see, you have a precedent, compared to what it used to be, that a party who did not even perform, who did not participate in the primaries, but later declared to be a winner of an election. So I think the Supreme Court would also do justice to this, to come up with a finding that, yes, whether the earlier decision made, the position of the law has been contravened by this particular judgment delivered in Governor Abba Yusuf's petition. So that is my take. Personally, I feel that it's an intra affair of a party which a court of law ought not to disturb.